Abby and Brittany Hensel entered the world in March 1990, the room wasn't filled with celebration. It was stunned silence. Doctors had no idea what to expect. Few thought they'd make it past the first week. But not only did they survive, they defied every prediction. Decades later, their lives are still rewriting the rules of possibility. This isn't just the story of conjoined twins. It's about two vibrant, determined individuals living one incredible life. And now, long after the cameras have faded, their journey has taken turns no one could have imagined. An unexpected marriage, internet-shaking rumors, and quiet, profound moments of strength. What they've built isn't just inspiring, it's transformative. And what you're about to discover will shift how you think about identity, independence, and resilience. It all started in a quiet corner of Minnesota. March 10th, 1990. Patty and Mike Hensel were expecting a normal birth. No signs of anything unusual during pregnancy. Patty, a nurse, had breezed through it. The ultrasounds showed nothing alarming. But when the babies arrived, everything changed in an instant. The delivery room fell still. Abby and Brittany were born dicephalic parapagus, an extraordinarily rare form of conjoinment where two heads share one body, two minds, one torso, one set of limbs, two souls learning to live in sync. Picture this: two separate brains navigating a shared world in real time. One wants to turn left, the other right. Cooperation isn't optional, it's survival. From the start, their physical form told a story of impossible coordination. Between their two necks, a small, unused third arm was visible, underdeveloped and motionless. Surgeons removed it early on, leaving behind a single shoulder blade as a quiet reminder of how truly unique they were. Even more remarkable was how they shared control. Abby, the right side; Brittany, the left. Every movement, walking, waving, dancing, became a silent negotiation. Total harmony was essential. They weren't just walking together, they were choreographing a life. Even while standing still, subtle differences told their own story. Abby's posture leaned slightly right, Brittany's slightly left. Why? Brittany's leg was 2 inches shorter. To keep pace, she naturally tiptoed, making her left calf more defined. Their bodies adjusted, but always through shared effort. At age 12, their resilience was tested. A severe scoliosis diagnosis meant undergoing complex spinal surgery, not just to correct posture, but to ensure proper breathing. Even more mind-bending was what doctors discovered next. Brittany's spine had stopped growing. So, to maintain balance, surgeons intervened and halted Abby's growth too. Not because something was wrong with her, but because that's what the other needed. One of the most powerful decisions in their lives wasn't about enhancement. It was about sacrifice and equilibrium. A silent agreement between two lives sharing one path. But what happens when shared space collides with different desires? Different dreams? What if one wants to teach and the other wants to travel? What if love, ambition, or identity pull in opposing directions? These aren't hypothetical questions. They're daily realities for Abby and Brittany. Living inside a single body isn't just about coordination, it's about understanding. Imagine brushing your hair, but your arm is controlled by someone else. Or typing on a keyboard when each hand belongs to a different person. That's not fiction. That's their everyday. And they've mastered it flawlessly, even behind the wheel. In 2012, their TLC show gave the world a rare window into their lives, and viewers watched, captivated, as they learned to drive. But this wasn't just for show. Each had to pass the driving test independently. 2 tests, 2 licenses, 1 shared vehicle. Abby handled the pedals. Brittany took the wheel. Trust wasn't just important. It was the mechanism that made movement possible. Their internal systems tell an even deeper story. They each have separate hearts, spines, and stomachs, but only one liver, one bladder, and a partially fused set of lungs. Their digestive responses vary. One can feel full while the other is hungry. Abby might feel completely fine while Brittany has a stomachache, and vice versa. Pain is localized. Brittany once explained, "If my side hurts, Abby doesn't feel it." And Abby echoed, "We only feel our own halves." Two minds experiencing the world differently, even from inside the same skin. Their entire life is a display of unspoken cooperation. From tying shoes to making breakfast, nothing happens without a shared effort. Yet, they've never described their lives as burdensome. They don't live in limitation. They live in collaboration. And it shows. What the world may see as compromise, they've turned into rhythm. An unbroken dance that's been evolving since day one. Still, the question lingers. What happens when they disagree? When one's tired and the other's energized? When careers, relationships, or goals don't line up? These aren't just moments of conflict. They're tests of unity, and they've faced them all. Abby and Brittany didn't try to mold into one identity. They embraced their individuality. Abby is analytical, numbers, logic, problem-solving. Brittany is expressive, language, emotion, creativity. Two distinct minds coexisting in perfect harmony. As they transitioned into adulthood, this difference became their greatest strength. Today, they teach 5th grade in Minnesota, drawing on their separate skills to reach every kind of student. Abby helps with math and science. Brittany connects through stories and art. It's more than teamwork. It's a dual lens on the same world, giving their students something no other teachers can offer. Even outside the classroom, their uniqueness shines. Abby prefers savory snacks. Brittany's a dessert lover. Their fashion, coordinated, not identical. Some days they wear matching tones. Other days they go bold with clashing patterns, stripes on one side, polka dots on the other. Because why should expressing yourself be limited even in a shared body? Of course, growing up brought challenges that tested even them. At 16, like any teen, they wanted the freedom of the road. But with two minds steering one car, learning to drive required more than just practice. It demanded trust. Abby handled the pedals. Brittany took the signals. It was about more than mobility. It was about independence. Not just surviving, but thriving. Together, they took the wheel, literally, and nothing about it was ordinary. Think about it. Coordinating every movement, turn, and signal, all while relying on instincts that had to be completely in tune. It wasn't like learning to drive with a partner. It was driving as one. Every moment behind the wheel became a lesson in precision and patience. They had to be each other's co-pilot, every second of every drive. But just when they thought they had synchronized their rhythm, the system tossed them a twist. Legally, they were viewed as two separate individuals. That meant not one, but two tests, two scores, two opportunities to either pass or stumble. And yet, not a flicker of hesitation. They powered through, heads high, nerves tucked away, and passed with flying colors on the very first try. For them, this wasn't some headline-worthy miracle. It was just another example of what they'd always done: align, adapt, and carry on, hand in hand, side by side. Still, the open road was only one part of their unfolding journey. Imagine stepping into a 5th grade classroom expecting a single teacher, only to be greeted by two confident voices welcoming you in. Abby and Brittany Hensel with their shared presence and unique harmony, quickly became unforgettable educators. Sure, at first, the kids were curious. Who wouldn't be? But within minutes, that initial surprise gave way to admiration. It wasn't about how they looked. It was about how they made learning feel like an adventure. And this wasn't some happy accident. Teaching was the culmination of years of determination and vision. From the moment they walked across their high school graduation stage, they had their eyes on Bethel University in Minnesota, a school that offered more than just degrees. It offered hope and challenges. For every class, there were two distinct minds to nurture. Every paper, every exam, they each took on their own. Abby gravitated toward logic and numbers, while Brittany found joy in expression and creativity. Balancing those separate academic identities while managing a shared physical existence wasn't easy. But they made it work, flipping between essays and equations like seasoned multitaskers. At Bethel, professors didn't treat them as a novelty. They were individuals. They were students with dreams. And when they graduated with dual degrees in education, they didn't just receive diplomas, they claimed their identity as two professionals who earned every credit through relentless effort. That effort paid off when they were hired at a local elementary school. Students adored them, parents admired them, classrooms buzzed with excitement and engagement. Abby might be breaking down math problems at the board while Brittany strolled between desks, offering encouragement and clarification. They moved in perfect sync, like a well-rehearsed duet. But behind the warm smiles and seamless teamwork, there was a quiet injustice few noticed at first. Despite holding 2 degrees and managing the responsibilities of 2 educators, they were initially offered 1 salary. 1 paycheck for 2 hearts, 2 minds, and 2 sets of skills. It sparked debate, both online and behind closed doors. Was it fair? Should compensation be based on appearances or on the real, measurable value they brought to their students? For Abby and Brittany, it wasn't about money. Still, perhaps the greatest challenge wasn't in the workplace or the classroom, it was in everyday public spaces. When you're someone people can't stop looking at, even a casual lunch outing turns into a spectacle. That level of attention, constant, uninvited, can wear anyone down. Abby once said that people snapping photos without permission was one of the few things that truly made them angry. And honestly, who could blame them? Imagine living under the glare of curiosity, day in and day out. Every glance a reminder that the world still didn't know how to simply let them be. From childhood, their parents, Mike and Patty, were firm protectors of their daughter's privacy. Medical professionals lined up, hoping for a chance to observe and examine. But the Hensels weren't interested in being part of a science fair. They made it clear, no extra tests, just to satisfy someone's curiosity. And yet, the world kept watching. At just 6 years old, Abby and Brittany appeared twice on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Their candid conversations captured hearts across the country. Around the same time, they appeared on the cover of Life magazine, featured under the unforgettable phrase, "One body, 2 souls." The piece inside gave people a gentle peek into their lives, full of the ordinary moments most of us take for granted. 2 years later, life followed up. The world couldn't look away. It wasn't about shock. It was about fascination, about the quiet strength these girls radiated. In 2002, Discovery Health dove deeper with Joined for Life, showing Abby and Brittany juggling school and social lives, all while navigating the complexities of shared movement. A year later, the documentary Joined at Birth peeled back the curtain on their early years. More features followed, more magazine spreads, more cameras capturing the everyday magic of their unique bond. but nothing compared to what came next. In 2012, they stepped into a whole new realm: reality television. The show Abby and Brittany followed the twins through the pivotal moment of finishing college and stepping into their new roles as teachers. For the first time, audiences saw the behind-the-scenes moments, the stress, the joy, the deep breaths before walking into a classroom full of wide-eyed kids. And people loved it. The show aired not just in the US, but across the UK as well. Viewers from all over the world tuned in, not out of pity, but out of admiration. They watched as Abby and Brittany rewrote every rule, shattered every doubt, and lived on their own terms. After years of stepping quietly through life's spotlight, the world was rocked when Abby Hensel's marriage became public knowledge. For longtime followers of the Hensel twins, the announcement wasn't just surprising. It was a moment that pulled at the threads of curiosity we've all held since Abby and Brittany first shared their extraordinary story decades ago. When Abby married Josh Bowling, a decorated Army veteran turned hospice nurse, in November 2021, it marked not just a new chapter, but a whole new dimension to a life already defying expectation. And naturally, that left people everywhere wondering, where does Brittany fit into all of this? Josh's journey is as layered as Abby and Brittany's. Originally from Tennessee, his path took him through the intensity of battlefield medicine as part of the prestigious 1st Cavalry Division. Deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, he faced the raw extremes of life and loss. In interviews, he shared how deeply those experiences changed him, leading him away from war zones and toward a life focused on care, especially for fellow veterans nearing the end of life. His move into hospice nursing wasn't just a career shift, it was healing in reverse. And perhaps that sense of purpose, of finding peace in service, is what drew him and Abby together. Their marriage, however, didn't come without layers of complexity. Josh had a prior marriage to Annika Bowling, which ended in 2019. They share a daughter, Isabella, born in 2016. But in a dramatic turn late in 2023, a paternity case emerged involving a child born after the divorce. Legal documents were filed, DNA tests were requested, and while no outcomes were publicly disclosed, the timing added a whirlwind of speculation around Josh's new life with Abby. It's a reminder that even those living extraordinary lives still deal with the everyday storms of adulthood, relationships, responsibilities, and everything in between. What fascinated many was how Abby and Josh's relationship works on a day-to-day level. After all, Abby shares her body with Brittany. For years, people have watched the twins navigate everything from school to travel to teaching careers. But marriage? That's a deeply personal arena. And while Abby and Brittany have chosen to stay mostly quiet on the specifics, the rare glimpses they offer, smiling in wedding photos, playing with Isabella during family outings, speak volumes about how love and understanding shape their world. The moment their wedding became public, the fascination around the twins reignited like wildfire. They had first stepped into public consciousness through Oprah's show in the mid-90s and later with their own TLC series. But social media has become their modern stage. On TikTok, they've shared candid, curated clips like their 2024 year-end video, filled with wedding snapshots, cozy home scenes, and slices of everyday joy. And it was in one of these videos that the rumor mill went into overdrive. That single TikTok post, set to the powerful anthem Unstoppable by Sia, was framed as a rebuttal to criticism. It strung together headlines, many negative or intrusive, as if to say, "We see it. We're still here. We're still thriving." Among those headlines, though, was one phrase that instantly set off alarms online: "Married and baby on the way." Was it a hint? A tease? A statement? Fans were quick to fill in the blanks, with congratulatory messages flooding the comments. But others paused. Could it have been part of the satire? An artistic response to the media's sensationalized take? That phrase, positioned right beside tabloid phrases like shocking tragedy and this is so sad, suggests it was more about media criticism than baby news. Still, speculation soared, and perhaps that was the point. It's a brilliant, almost cinematic mystery. One line, one beat in a video, triggering global conversation. And if pregnancy were in the cards, it would come with unique medical considerations. Abby and Brittany are dicephalic parapagus twins. 2 heads, 2 minds, 1 body. They share a single reproductive system, which means only Abby could physically carry a child. But emotionally, mentally, both would be there for every step. Questions arise. How would prenatal care work? What special medical plans would be required? And how would they prepare to co-parent while navigating a world that already stares too much and understands too little? Critics have their doubts, raising concerns over risks and complications. But supporters argue that Abby and Brittany have overcome so many obstacles already. Why should this one be any different? In fact, it might just be another moment where they lead by example, forcing the world to rethink everything it assumes about ability, identity, and family. The twins have remained silent on the topic, and that silence is powerful. It reminds us that they own their story. They always have. Whether the pregnancy headline was fact, fiction, or something in between, it spotlighted how easily public narratives can spin out of control, and how gracefully Abby and Brittany have handled that pressure their entire lives. As their story continues to evolve, there's one aspect that often goes unnoticed: their quiet success. The Hensel twins have never chased fame for the sake of it. But behind the scenes, they've built a comfortable, even luxurious life. Though private, sources have revealed that Abby and Brittany have invested wisely in real estate across Minnesota, reside in a custom-built, fully accessible home, and have interests in education tech startups. They've also been seen driving a Mercedes-Benz GLC, wear minimalist high-end watches, likely from Cartier or Omega, and have collaborated on a children's book series in development. While they don't flaunt their wealth, insiders report comprehensive insurance policies covering both health and teaching careers, plus specialized asset protection. In around 80 words, this snapshot of their lifestyle shows how financial intelligence, paired with resilience, leads to lasting success. Their past was filled with uncertainty and spectacle. Today, their lives are shaped by choice, intention, and progress. From young girls curious about the world to women confidently building a life on their own terms, the Hensel twins have changed the way we define identity and independence. And they're not done yet. So, what's your take? Could parenthood be the next chapter for Abby and Brittany? Or is the real story about how they continue to defy expectations and stay true to themselves, no matter what the headlines say? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is one story that's far from over. And if you're still with us, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and check out what's next. Because when it comes to Hollywood's most remarkable lives, the story never really ends. It just evolves.